Good evening. Petito, hello. How are you doing? Pogs! Petito, thank you for the resub. Almost a year. God, it really has been that long, hasn't it? Thank you so much. Yeah, free party panda for you. Thank you again, my friend. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, we're gonna try Assassin's Creed Revelations again. I'm in a bit more of a mindset to actually play this game now, so I should be able to get through more than an hour of it. First thing I want to point out, will there be a sexy time in this game? There was a sexy time in Brotherhood, so possibly. It's not gonna be like a Kratos sexy time, though. Like, you're not gonna see like Aphrodite boobies or anything like that, but you never know. Okay, you're not. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so if you read the title by any chance, I've decided I'm going to try to do a few new things with the stream. Nothing major. The first starting tonight, I am going to start a question of the day with every stream now. Just stop loading the menu. No thanks. There we go. Mostly to facilitate conversation, because I've noticed with past Assassin's Creed games that even the people that love the series don't stick around and chat for very long. And this series takes a little more out of me than most do. So, yeah, I've decided to try to think of different things, conversations, topics of interest, stuff like that. That could warrant a nice, decent discussion. So tonight, the question is, what is your favorite game and why? Metal Gear Solid 2, just a plot twist and the sneaking is just great. 2. Was that on the PlayStation 1? 3 was Snake Eater, right? That was the prequel. It was PS2, okay. I played a demo for the first game, and I remember enjoying the demo, and I could see the appeal. I don't remember much of 2, though. Was that the one that they introduced Raiden? And yeah, I've heard the plot twists are just ridiculous with that franchise. Like, it is okay. It is that one. Maybe that's got to be something I need to put on my list at some point. I'm curious now if they're on Steam. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I imagine it would be much more costly to get the original copies of the games. At least the older ones. I'm just gonna check Steam real fast. It looks like Metal Gear Solid 5, Metal Gear Solid Legacy. I'm guessing that's some sort of remaster of the original Solid. Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Online. I have no idea what Online is. Metal Gear Survive. No thanks. So only the most recent one. Nuts. Ah well. I want to find a PS3 so I can play MGS4. remember anything about 4, actually. The remake should be on PS4. Do not... No to MGS5, eh? Well, that was the one that had, Hideo Kojima's, departure from Konami, right? Like, that was when they were going through their turbulence phase, and basically he ended up leaving, as I recall, before the game even finished. Yeah, okay. And are there 2 different versions of the game? Like, I saw, or is one multiplayer and one single player? Because I saw, one's called The Phantom Pain, and the other one's like Ground Zero or something, isn't it? I was just looking at them too, and I don't even remember what it was. And I think I could have played Metal Gear Rising. I think that was on Steam as well. But oh, Stream Elements chiming in. Okay. Well, I mean, we can keep having this conversation. I can actually load up the game, so let's do that. So you notice I've destroyed. Yeah, let's stick with destroyed. I've destroyed my save file. I don't remember much of the little bit that I played last time, so we're just going to start from scratch. We're going to stick with the same name.
We can keep him like this for a few days, maybe a week.
Call ahead. Tell him we're on our way.
Seems a bit low.
As soon as we're clear.
Desmond Miles. Your life has changed so much in so little time. 2 months ago, you were pouring shots for bankers and celebrities. But now look at you. You're an assassin. One of us. One of the good guys. Isn't that nice? Men and women dedicated to protecting and preserving human life and liberty. Not like those Templars. Cold and calculating autocrats, drunk on power, obsessed with order, all that. We're doing our best to stop them. Yeah. Doing our best. But you remember all this, right? You remember the Animus, the machine we used to unravel genetic memories and relive the lives of our ancestors? First, you were Altair, a stoic 12th century assassin from the Holy Land. Then, you were Ezio Auditore, a wealthy Italian with charisma and a talent for revenge. So, what do you 3 have in common? That's right. The Apple of Eden. That strange artifact left behind by those people. The ones who came before. You know the apple's power. You felt it for yourself. Oh, it's been fun, hasn't it, Desmond? But that's about to change. Your mind is fragmented, falling to pieces. And if you don't find a way to wake up, you may lose yourself. Forever.
Fragmentation,
Okay,
no!
this monitoring system to free up a lot of memory, but even like this, it's still risky.
Desmond will be fine. The partition worked, the Animus is stable, and his signs are good.
For now. But this was built to recreate memories, not simulate entire cognitive processes.
The Animus will do its part, and Desmond will do the rest.
Enable safe mode.
What's happening? I can't move. I can't. No!
I don't remember if Desmond had that tattoo at any of the other games, or if that's a new addition for this one.
Hello?
Right. Well, we don't have to go far. Ground Zero was a prequel of sorts to Phantom Pain. Both just sucked. I couldn't finish it, and it hurt me so much because how much I love the franchise. That sucks. There's nothing worse than watching your franchise kind of, I guess fall apart is the only word here, because I don't remember when Rising came out, if it was before or after during 5, but it's not a proper Metal Gear game. I know that much. Even they knew that. That's why they attached the Rising tag to it as opposed to Solid. And then Metal Gear Survive, that's just not even worth counting. So, yeah, the last games in the franchise would have been 5. See, it's weird, because the only thing I heard about 5 was apparently the ending was like a full-fledged movie. Like, it was an hour and 40 minutes long or something. I always thought that it was exaggerated to make a point, but I heard this from multiple sources, that it was like genuinely almost a full-length movie. Jesus, I hope Life is Strange True Colors is good now that you say it. You've seen the trailers. I'm sure it'll be fine. It won't fall apart in the same fashion, I imagine. So, yeah, the ending is what really made it suck. What? You know what? Screw it. You're the only one in here. I'm probably not. If it really was that bad, I'm probably not going to care too much for it, even if I do tackle them. And I don't have any interest in maintaining my obliviousness to the franchise. So if you want to spoil the ending for me, or at least you can tell me what made it suck so bad. Like, was 5 the one that had quiet in it? That was 5, wasn't it? Spoilers, the main character you were playing wasn't the real Snake, and it pissed off a lot of people. But see, that's its whole thing, though, was there was clones of Snake throughout the entire franchise. Like Snake Eater, you didn't realize you were playing as Big Boss initially, right? Until later in the game or something like that. I don't... not having played the games myself, I'm basing this off of what little I remember during the marketing. It was... Okay. That is the sole reason why I never was interested in 5. She's an operative, that's fine. But she's dressed like she's ready to go to the strip club. And she's absorbing water through her skin, and that's how she nourishes herself. I'm like, that is the worst reasoning I've heard for wanting a scantily clad woman in your game ever. Like, if you want that in your game, just own it. Like, don't come up with this really stupid logic. I'm just 3. People know you were playing Big Boss Snake. Oh, okay. So it was initially known that it was a prequel. I couldn't remember if I found out because of spoilers or if I found out because it was part of the marketing or not. But like there's like Liquid Snake, Solid Snake. I don't remember the rest. Naked Snake, I think, was one. There's like 1 or 2 others. I don't remember. You probably know more than me, but MGS3 and MGS5 are prequels to the original Metal Gear. Like, when you say the original Metal Gear, are you talking about Metal Gear Solid, or are you talking about, like, the NES Metal Gear? Because I do know that's supposed to be part of this franchise, too. Which blew my mind when I found out, by the way. Sorry, hold on. Okay, you do mean the NES one. All right. So that means those are before that. Okay. Were you Big Boss in the NES version? I know it's canon to the franchise, but I don't know how it fits into the franchise exactly.
Just walk right past me.
16?
No, they didn't tell you my name.
Oh, God damn it, I'm still in the Animus?
What a shock you suffered out there.
I mean, you can't be surprised, Desmond. You're on a
Rebecca!
beach.
Get me out of here.
They can't help you, Desmond. You're a broken man. Your mind, it's... broken.
Broken. I feel fine.
So did I.
Hey!
Look at me now! Let's talk, buddy. Walk with
Chapter
me.
16.
What is this place?
It's nice, isn't it?
I knew something was missing. Hold on. What is 3D strength? Whatever. I'm not going to play with that.
We're in the guts of the Animus. The original test program. No memories here, just basic physics, weather simulations. Hello, world. You're lucky someone up there
There
had
it is,
sense to
okay.
plug you in here. It saved your life.
Saved it from what?
Right now, you should be sitting in a hospital ward, drooling and chewing on your tongue. For now, the Animus is keeping you intact. Keeping all your ancestors from collapsing into one big mess. But if you can't find a sync nexus, all those personalities will smash together. And that won't be pretty.
A sync nexus?
I'm getting there. Hold on.
He's getting there. Hold on.
There. That thing is your way out.
You're screwing with me.
Here's the problem. Your brain is hash. Too many ghosts in your head, too many voices. So how do you fix that? You claw your way back into the stored data, you find unfinished memories, and you crack them open. Finish what you started, until your ancestor has nothing left to show you. That is a sync nexus. And when you find it, the Animus can separate Desmond from Ezio and Altair and send you home. Back to your body.
How do you know all this?
Because it happened to me. But my body, it's worm food now. So I'm stuck here. A word of warning? When you step through there, everything changes. Nothing feels normal. But you are still in control, and it's up to you to find your way out.
Right.
If you hurry, you might make it back in time for Lucy's funeral.
What?
Oh, I thought you knew.
Lucy. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. It was that voice. Juno. She took hold of me. She made me. What am I doing? What have I done?
Okay, well, don't say bye or anything. That was the one where you thought you were Big Boss, but you were Solid Snake. That was the 80s one. Oh, okay, too much tonight, so feel sick. Armageddon, hello. I hope you're exaggerating. That's no good. Might I ask what you ate this evening? That made you throw caution to the wind and just eat. Alright, let's jump into this.
It's Sean. Sean,
No, we're
what's
not.
going on?
Let me talk to him.
Did you... Hold on, I'm putting you on speaker.
Sean, it's William. Is everything taken care of?
Oh, well, hello to you too. For Christ's sakes, man, have some class.
All right, calm down.
Oh, that's rich. Yeah, Lucy's dead, and you want me to act like it's Easter Sunday, do you? How's Desmond, anyway? Giving in?
That's enough, Sean.
What if he's a Templar, Bill? Eh? What if he's been programmed? It's happened before.
No, not Desmond.
Right. You would say that.
Sean.
I'm sorry, Sean. What if we are a Templar? Got a big sandwich from Subway. I'm assuming that your sandwiches from Subway are like 6-inch and footlongs, right? Standard sizes, anyways. Wasn't that hungry, but ate all of it because it doesn't taste that good if you heat it up later. That's fair. I agree with that. To the point where I wouldn't heat it up. I always eat them. I would have eaten it cold. May I ask what kind of sandwich you got? Right. In we go. So I have to admit, Petito, I did not realize you were into stealth games. Or at the very least, that particular franchise. That's a lot of Ubisofts. I don't need to see them all. You could have just put them all on the screen at the same time, guys. Come on!
Claudia, my dearest sister.
Oh, I was loading.
I've been in Acre a week now, safe and in high spirits, but prepared for the worst. The men and women who have fed and sheltered me here also give me warning that the road to Masyaf is overrun by mercenaries and bandits, not native to this land. What this could mean, I dread to guess. When I first set out from Roma 10 months ago, I did so with a single purpose: to discover what our father did not. In a letter written the year before my birth, he makes mention of a library hidden beneath the stones of Masyaf Castle. A sanctum full of invaluable wisdom.
Surprise!
So what will I find when I arrive there? Who will greet me? A host of eager Templars, as I fear most strongly. Or nothing but the whistling of a cold and lonely wind. Masyaf has not been home to the assassins for almost 300 years now. Can we still claim it for our own? Are we welcome there? I am wary of this fight, Claudia. Not because I am tired, but because our struggle seems to move in one direction only, towards chaos. Today, I have more questions than answers. This is why I've come so far. To find clarity. To find the wisdom left behind by the great Altair. So that I may better understand the purpose of our fight. And my place in it. Should anything happen to me, Claudia, should my skills fail me, or my ambition lead me astray, do not seek retribution or revenge in my memory, but fight to continue the search for truth, so that all may benefit. My story is one of many thousands, and the world will not suffer if it ends too soon.
I don't think we've seen Altair without his hood on since the first Ezio game. I'm sorry, but if I fell that distance in game, I would have suffered damage. No question. I call shenanigans on it. It was a Philly steak and cheese. So very Philly. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, those are delicious, don't get me wrong, but if I ate a foot long... Oh, you didn't say it was a foot long. But if I ate a Philly steak and cheese, and I wasn't really hungry to begin with, yeah. I'd probably be suffering too. I like other games. No, I figured that, but I don't know why. I just, I imagined that you were just more into the more narratively strong games, which I guess Metal Gear Solid is a strong narrative experience, right? So, that's just my ignorance at play there. But, I am genuinely surprised, though, that Life is Strange was not your top pick, though. Because I know that that's kind of your go-to when it's, when people stream it. Like, it makes you happy, so... I don't know. I've always been on the fence with the Metal Gear franchise. Like... Back when the games were initially released, like, I'm not into stealth games too much. I'm not a very patient panda. Mostly because any kind of stealth-based game, it's like, if you fail the stealth, you fail the whatever goal you're trying to achieve, and you have to start over. And that's what I'm used to, and I don't like that. So... I like to have a little bit of wiggle room where if you fail, you can kind of make up for it anyways. But so Armageddon, I don't know if you read the title. I was telling Matito earlier that every stream now I'm going to start introducing like a question of the day. Oh God, I'll find out why that was played in a second. Just to facilitate conversations and whatnot, because I know, especially during Assassin's Creed, it doesn't always keep people's attention. So, the question of tonight is, what is your favorite game of all time and why? I like to have a little wiggle room. Oh, Petito. Okay, that was good. That was good. I'll give you that. All right, let's do this again. No, don't kill me. Wait, I'm not a bastard, so I'm okay. I am safe. Did he just say he wanted to take my heart out with a shovel and then feed it to me? Dude, that's weird. Alright, up we go. So yeah, Arma, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that your favorite game is probably in the Resident Evil franchise. I just don't know which one specifically. Ah, broken blades. Ezio glitching out there, jeez. So I guess I should probably answer my own question. So my favorite game of all time is Fallout New Vegas. Alright. Ow. I'm one of the few people that likes the, or doesn't downright hate the combat system of those games. They definitely have their flaws, don't get me wrong, but I still enjoy it anyways. But mostly the story. And the world. And everything else. I love that game to death. It's one of the few games I've seen that has multiple endings, and over a decade later, people are still debating which of those endings would be considered the best. Games with that kind of thought-provoking element to it, I eat that up. I love it, so... it would be Resident Evil HD Remaster. That's your favorite one? Why that one specifically? Just because it's like a classic? The HD obviously steps up the graphics. Makes it look nicer and whatnot, I get that. Climb, okay. Woot. we're still going up. Hey, we're in sync. We're not anymore. Oh no! Well, we didn't die. Ezio, what are you doing? Like, you can see Ezio, or Altair grab him. There you go. That's the spirit, this way, okay. I mean, I've only played, like, the first 2. Okay, technically I played 5 too, but I can't really compare that to the other 2. It's a whole different genre of game, basically. I enjoyed them both, but yeah, I would have to agree. I like the first one more than the second one. I guess I should keep following on Altair's coast. Or I can jump over to the side. Sorry, friend. Wrong place, wrong time. Please drop. There we go. Wait, how do I have 2 bars of health now? Gunpowder. Gunpowder offers medium explosion, allowing you to affect multiple targets at once. How about I just do that? There we go. So have either of you two played any of the Fallout games at all? Ezio, now is not the time to go swimming. Oh my god, it's so dark. Oh no, this isn't gonna fly. Okay, that's just literally HUD. There we go. How does it look on stream? Yeah, okay, that's better. Mission marker. You're not. Yeah, okay. Which games? Any of the Fallouts. Fallout 4, but I couldn't get into it. Any game where you have to do a lot of crafting bores and frustrates me. That's fair. I mean, you can circumvent that, but the game definitely emphasizes it. Makes it feel like it's necessary, so yeah, that's fair. See, 4 is one of those games where the pros are really good and the cons are really bad. Like, that sounds like a really stupid thing to say, but like, there isn't a whole lot of middle ground there where it's just kind of it's just like it's a I wouldn't say it's a good shooter, but it's a competent shooter, definitely better than past iterations. Lots of good exploring, lots of good looting and whatnot. So if you're into that, just wandering around and looting and shooting things in the face, definitely it can scratch that itch. But I mean, the story just There's so many plot holes with it. It's just, it makes me sad. Never gotten any Fallout. Armageddon, if you're open-minded, if you're willing to try something new, I would suggest the first one. Like, the very first one on Steam. It's like $5, I think, for me. So it's probably like $1 American. But, it's an isometric game from like the 90s, I think. So if you've ever played like the original Warcraft or Starcraft or any of those, it's kind of got that vibe to it. But you just play as a single character, and it's narratively driven. You get to go around and explore and whatnot, and it's very bleak. Like, it's, but in a good way. You might enjoy it. I don't know. I don't know if your tastes would have something like that appeal to you or not, but it was on Xbox Game Pass, so I just wanted to try it because I've heard good things about the franchise. Okay, fair enough. Well, if you don't mind your games looking like a potato, I would suggest try New Vegas. Graphically, Bethesda games of that generation were... like, the environments were pretty, but the characters were something else. But yeah, there's not really a lot of crafting. It's or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things you would have to try. I mean, if you liked Fallout 4 until you had to deal with the crafting stuff, and you enjoyed it up until that point, then you might enjoy some of the earlier iterations of the franchise. The whole franchise should be on Game Pass by now. Oh, I imagine so. Well, not necessarily 1 or 2. They were originally PC games, and I don't think Bethesda has the... what's the word I'm looking for? Work ethic to try to convert it over into something playable on a console. So, oh, but Game Pass has a PC version as well as the Xbox version, right? So it might be on the PC version. Fair, okay, yeah. So, yeah, if that's the case, the whole franchise would be on it. Assassination. Oh, okay, alright, well. I like how the emphasis was put more on the haymaker to the chest. You slit his throat. I don't think the haymaker's gonna do too much. Who are you? Oh!
Be merciful, please. I am a working man with a family.
Doing what kind of work?
Digging mostly. It took me a year to find this chamber. And for the past 3 months, I've been trying to break through this door.
You've not made much progress.
I have not made a dent. This stone is harder than steel.
I doubt you will. This door is guarding objects more valuable than all the gold in the world.
Ah, do you mean gemstones?
There are keyholes here. Where are the keys?
These Templars found one beneath the Ottoman Sultan's palace. As for the others, I suppose the little book will tell them.
What book?
A journal of some kind. That ugly captain, he carries it with him wherever he goes.
Go home. Find work with honest men.
Oh, I would love to leave this place. But these men, they will murder me if I try.
Pack your tools.
You have no choice. You will go home to your family. How dare you? Game Pass Ultimate covers both. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to mute myself real quick. It's really warm in my home right now, so I'll probably be taking a lot of water breaks throughout the stream. So, one sec. Okay, back. So, question for you, Batito, since now I know you're into kind of stealth-based games. Have you ever played, oh god, I've forgotten the name of it. Well, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh god, it's a Bethesda-published game. Assassin-based. You have supernatural powers. I can't believe I'm blanking. I keep thinking it's called Thief. It's not Thief. Okay, this is gonna bother me. Hold on, I'll be right back. Yep, that's the game. Sorry. It took me a minute to find my copy of it. Yeah, Dishonored is what I was trying to describe there. It was another one of those games that didn't jump out at me, but a long time ago, it had been suggested by somebody who doesn't really swing by the streams, like ever. So I ended up picking it up, though, super cheap. It's sitting on my shelf. I've heard good things about it. No, but it's on my list because it looks like it's up my alley. Like, I feel like it's stealthy BioShock. Like, that's kind of the impression that, or the vibe that it gives off. Skip! Skip! Hi. How you doing? Party Panda for you. It's funny, I think I'm the only one that redeems that now. I deserve this. Oh, Skip. How are you doing tonight? I hope you are well. Okay, we're following after this gentleman, I guess. Let's interact with the glowy door. I am well. Well, that's good to hear. I have to say, I'm impressed. I know you said that you were like halfway through the game when you tried to change the difficulty of the Doom 3, but yeah, I'm impressed that you're actually managing to get through it, and with not with relatively too much difficulty. Like you're kind of wrecking it. What is this? Ah, well, whatever. Oh, it's just a window. Okay. Whatever. Leaving.
The assassin must not get his hands on that book. When we reach Leandros, we will escort him out of the village. You stay behind and make sure we're not followed.
So, logically, we're obviously going to follow him. Find the Templar captain to retrieve the journal. So, Skip, we were just kind of talking about different games, and more specifically, what our favorite game ever is. If I'm remembering correctly, you did say your favorite game of all time was Ocarina of Time, correct? Ow! I will elbow you in the abs. And then stab different things. I have no idea how I killed you, but okay. Lamb's blood, that's not weird. I have not found any medicine yet. Or maybe I have to equip it. No, I just haven't found any. Okay. That was weird. I really don't want to break the game already. It's too early for that.
Get down!
Oh, I can't double assassinate. That's right. These poor guys. Just standing around trying to stay warm. Next thing I know, I come up to them and slice open their throat holes. There we go, medicine. Boom. Yeah, Doom isn't too hard. I just wanted to lower the difficulty so I could finish it faster. Oh, okay. I thought you were genuinely struggling to the point where you just weren't enjoying it, and that's why you wanted to lower it. And yeah, sometimes Mario RPG, however I'm feeling. Fair enough. So, okay. So I have to ask, since it's, even if it's not at the top of your list at a specific moment in time, it's obviously still going to be up there. What is it about Oot? Sorry. I used to do programming, so every time I hear, like, I see OOT, like OOT, I think object-oriented. What was the T? Turing? I don't remember. I think it was object-oriented Turing that they were teaching at the time. Old school legacy language, but still. OOT, yes! That's what we used to call it! I told you, programming. That's, every time I see that abbreviation, that's how it was a programmer. I didn't go far with it. It's the passion. I went to school for it, and my passion for it burnt out pretty quick. So, which is unfortunate because I really enjoyed it before I started. The program that I went into was, so there's two different programs that were available at the time. There's a 2-year program called Computer Programmer, and then there was a 3-year one called Computer Programmer / Analyst. I went for the CPA one. And that's where you want to go if you want to design systems for companies, or if you're interested in doing IT work, stuff like that. A lot of analytical work, diagnosing, determining how to make systems more efficient, stuff like that, which is fine. These are all really good skills to have. It's just so utterly boring. It was basically, if I remember correctly, it was like 85% design work, planning, stuff like that. 10% coordination with the client, and 5% actual programming and designing. And yeah, I was done with it very fast. So that's my programming history. There you go. On the bright side, I did learn several languages. The downside is I haven't done anything with them since, so I don't remember a lot of it. The music, the story, the puzzles, the items, the characters. Okay. Maybe. This is a big, giant, fat mother of a maybe. I would need to take another look at that game because I sank about 3 hours of my life into it and I regretted it. So I am willing to admit that maybe I could have tried to give it another shot, but and it's been a long time since I gave it a try, so maybe my memory has exaggerated the parts that I didn't like about it. I seem to remember there being an unnecessary amount of hurting things in that little intro slice of the game. Which, if you do it once to illustrate what Link's life is like, okay, fine. But I remember it happened more than once. It was like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, why am I continuously hurting things? I don't care. I want to go around and explore things. And I gave up. I was done, so. No, I did not call your mother fat. I have not met your mother. And even if I had, I would not call her fat because that's not very nice. I'm just willing to admit that I maybe should take another look at the game, that's all. I don't know if I want to, but... Where... Are you directing me up? Or are you trying to take me, game? Oh, right, that, okay. I forgot the little number to the left of the mini-map can tell me if I need to go up or not. Use Ezio's parachute to reach the village. Templars in village. Jump forward and press square while falling to open the parachute. Alright. Using the parachute, press square to assassinate enemy guards below you. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm not gonna make that. Alright, I do remember this. Drop down, please. I remember accidentally killing, like, all the squads, basically, thinking I was supposed to assassinate them. So we're just gonna quietly walk behind these guys. Don't mind me, I'm just out for a walk. Enjoying this nice warm weather we got going on here. Listening to the wonderful sounds of nature. there we go.
None of you leave until the assassin is dead. Do you understand?
Ignore me, Kirilo. He seems to have found us.
Panic!
Oh god, I have to ride carriages. I forgot about that. Have you met his mother? I haven't met anyone's mother, I promise. That is a fantastic show, by the way. I don't know if anybody here has seen it. I heard that they're going to be making a sequel to it.
What are you doing?
Which is kind of cool. I think it's literally called How I Met Your Father.
Down.
Uh-oh.
Die, you bastard!
Ow. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. No. Ow! I'm about to die horribly. Then stop talking and climb. Or pull. Oh, I am losing health when I get hit by the grass. Come on, Ezio, you're almost there.
That's what she said. Run, you stupid brook.
Ow! I said hit by the grass.
Move. Where are you, bastard?
I think there was like a limitation to how far up I could climb. I bet you're the Neil Patrick Harrison here, Frank Grip. Now, I don't keep a list of names to show off my elementary school rival.
You again.
Me again. Start climbing and pull? Oh, God. Bam! Would you kindly go away? Uh-oh. Alright, that works. Oh, God. Get over there. Uh-oh. Oh, bad things. Yep. How do you do that if you can't slow down or speed up? Like, I feel like you're inevitably going to get damage there. Denied. Bam! Get out of there! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, good. That actually worked. Boom. Oh, God. I dislike this part. Let's get behind that too. His face kind of intimidates me. Alright. Let's try this again. Oh, no! Get out of there! Aw. Bam! Oh, this is gonna suck. Yep, that was massive suckage. Oh, I just had to survive, apparently. Okay, fine.
Die, you bastard!
This guy is not very nice.
Stop him!
Oof. That could have gone better. A hard ride. Yeah, no. We're just gonna leave that one alone. I don't remember if I've asked you this before, Skip. I probably have. Have you ever considered, or have you already played
Do not take your eyes off.
Ocarina of Time on stream?
Do you understand me? Nothing gets through.
Leandros! There!
Well, well. Look what crawled out of its hole to die. He's at death's door. Finish him off. Bring me his head, or throw yourselves into the canyon.
Why wouldn't you just do it yourself? The Wounded Eagle. The Templar Captain Leandros has left you to die. Find and kill him, then retrieve the journal. Okay. Easy. Infiltrate the village. Oh. We need some medicine. Of course not. You intend to someday. Okay. To be honest, I'm genuinely surprised that you haven't by now. Can you put it away? Sheath. There we go. Not what I meant to do, but okay. Bye. Alright. I guess I'm gonna go up. Not particularly big on streaming PC games or emulator. Oh, that's right, yeah. I remember you were trying to adjust when you were playing in Vegas.
This used to be so easy.
Which, I mean, you did. You got used to it, but... Can you not stream off the N64? Like... I assume that you would be able to just hook that up to an HDMI converter. Same as PS3, right? Oh, you know, oh, okay. That's fair. Kind of hard to stream off a system you don't have. Wait, I came up this way? Oh no, I took the water wheel, that's right. Okay, I guess we're going that way. Uh-oh. I'm assuming I can't climb, right? Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I'm just gonna stand over here.
More water.
You don't see me, okay? Push L3, it says! Okay, why? Oh, dang it.
Something deadly about him. He is not what he seems.
No.
Damn it! I can't see him anymore!
Pouring muscle for hire.
Alright, cool. You just stay over there, I guess.
Where's that?
Rude! I just kicked that mace like it was nothing. Skunk oil, sure, why not? The game is intentionally being mean when it comes to its medicines here. I streamed the 3DS version anyways, it looks way better. Well, I guess if you're gonna go emulated, that makes more sense, yeah. Are there good 3DS emulators? Words? Haven't heard anything. The only thing I know about any Nintendo emulators is Dolphin, which Nintendo dislikes greatly. I was about to say, yeah, N64 not too common nowadays. Well, okay, as a system, yeah, but I don't know. He might have had one from when he was a kid or something. Yeah, the games are still tied, so I may just end up picking one myself. Mario RPG will probably be the pick for now. You're talking about your Twitter poll, right? What's the other choice that's tied with Mario RPG? It's still weird to me, like in a good way. Don't get me wrong, but it's still weird to me that you're jumping into some Nintendo games here. I've always known you to be the Resident Evil streamer, so, or at least the horror game genre streamer. So it'll be an interesting change of pace to see you play some Mario Maker if you ever get to that, or Mario RPG. So the real question I have for you, Arma, is if you end up going to SMM2, will you be doing the Dingus Challenge? I love that name. It's so dumb. From what I've heard, there are good 3DS emulators. Okay. I'm also not sure if I personally own Ocarina anywhere. There's Switch emulators, I guess. I mean, there's pretty much emulation for any system you can possibly think of. That doesn't mean they're good emulators, though. So that's my question is... I mean, Ocarina for 64. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. I have it for 3DS for sure, Majora's Mask. Oh, okay. Well, I know that I don't remember the name of it at the moment, but I do know there is at least one good N64 emulator. I don't know anything about any 3DS emulators, though. Am I going this way? Rawtoon sneaking into the stream, bringing the party with him. How are you doing tonight, Rawtoon? I hope you are doing well. Glad to see you, my friend. Is this where I'm going? I don't even know anymore.
Could it be that you are every bit as deadly
Yes.
as the legends say? Or am I in charge of an army of drunks swinging sticks? Right this way, Ezio. Nowhere left to run now!
Not for me, and not for you.
Kill that dog! Cut him down!
Now, die!
Oh, here we go.
Get him, Adelphi! Go!
Oh, right. Give me medicine. Yes.
That dulls the pain.
There we go, finally. Restricted area. I'm pretty sure everything around here is restricted. Very sneaky, sir. The sneakiest. I can appreciate that. How are you guys? I'm doing pretty well, thank you for asking. How are you? I'm playing Ratchet & Clank on PS5, but taking a break to eat. Food is always good. Trying to maximize my time while the kids sleep. Oh, yeah. Enjoy it while you have it, right? They still have a habit of waking up about 2 to 3 hours after they lay down. Oh, kids. Yeah. How old are your kids now? I imagine they're still in the toddler phase, right? 2 or 3, maybe? By the way, I love that emote. That's a fantastic emote. Oh, God. So, what are you thinking about Ratchet and Clank? How does the game stack up in your mind? Hey, I missed. Tell me why. How was it? Did you play it on PC or is it now on PS4? No, I had to stream it off of Steam, so PC. To my knowledge, it is not out on any other platforms. Possibly, maybe like Epic Game Store or something, but nothing console related that I saw. 2.5. Oh, okay. Well, I said 2 or 3, so. And I love Ratchet and Clank. Never played the others. Okay. Well, I mean, you're still playing more than me. I watched Unspoken when he was streaming it there for a bit. It looked like it was a lot of fun. I can see why people enjoy it. Still reminds me of Jak and Daxter, though, and I don't have good memories of that, so. Oh, can we sneak up on this guy? Stabby! Or... Oh my god! Why, Ezio? Ow! So he punched him in the spine, the first guy, and then he just stomped his face in. Would have been more humane just to use your knife. Dear Lord. Where am I at here? But want to now. Oh, after playing the new one, you want to go back to the others? It's not Jak and Daxter. It's actually good. Okay, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed, like, I only played Jak and Daxter 2. It had, there was some good elements to it. I did enjoy it. To a point. Some of the difficulty was just stupid. And it was dragging on far longer than it needed to. And to the point where I got tired of it. And I mostly just tried to beat it out of stubbornness more than anything else. And I did. I beat it exactly one time, and I never touched it again. So, to the point where I didn't even want to look at the other 2 games. Tell me why it's on. Oh, Xbox. Okay. Well, there you go. I never got into Jak and Daxter, but if they remade it like this, I'd buy it day one. Highly recommend New Ratchet. Like I said, it looked fun watching Unspoken do it. So yeah, I can see why you would recommend it. Eventually. There's a lot of other titles that are on the never-ending list that I intend to get to. So it's not quite high priority on that list, but it wasn't on my list at all to begin with. So that's something, right? I'm willing to give it a shot. Yep, I don't have Xbox. Wish I had Xbox Series X and PS5, but just PS5 for now. That's still one more system than me. I'm still streaming my most recent console is the PS4 still. So, granted, I haven't gone looking for the PS5. I kind of got tired. I tend to tire quickly of trying to buy a system, especially when scalpers keep beating me to the punch. I don't feel the compulsion to get the most up-to-date, like, I don't need to have it now kind of thing. I'm a patient panda in that regard, so, and I still have so many other games to get to that I can hold off. Someday I'll get there. And then we'll play. Actually, you know what? I don't know of too many games that are on the PS5 right now that, like, I want to play Intergrade, for FF7, and I want to play the new Spider-Man. There aren't any other titles that come to mind that jump out at me right now, so I have the money for both, but not the time. That's always the problem, right? Time. I can understand that. You and Siren play the Assassin's Creed games, which for some reason is hard for me to get into playing myself, but I enjoy watching you guys play. Siren's a like hardcore fan of Assassin's Creed. I'm playing them because they were requested. Oh, I forgot to put blind in the title. This is blind for me. But yeah, I'm kind of going through the mostly because it was requested, and I actually own up to three. Three came with Liberation, so technically I got 3 on Liberation. So I am definitely playing Revelations. I've already played the other 3 games that came before it, so I'm playing Revelations, then I'm playing 3, then I'm playing Liberation, and depending on how these 3 titles go, I might go past that, but I don't see that happening right now. Just because, like you, it's hard for me to get into these games sometimes. I forget the list. Yeah, I just added Mass Effect Legendary Edition and Yakuza Like a Dragon. I've heard that's a great game. Like a Dragon is actually supposed to be like one of its best out of the franchise. It's another one of those franchises that intimidated me because there's like 12 different titles or something stupid. Plus, I'm not a big fan of beat 'em ups. Like, there has to be enough variation in a beat 'em up for it to hold my attention for any length of time. They're usually not the strongest in terms of story, which is fine. But, like, if anyone's ever played the original Golden Axe, like, there's even, like, platforming elements, but it's still so repetitive. PS5 is insanely hard right now to get, yeah. Did you guys hear about, this has nothing to do with PS5 specifically, but I think it was a few weeks ago, somewhere in the UK, there was a PlayStation 4 farming site for FIFA games. There was this giant warehouse full of rows upon rows of PS4s, all on and operated by bots that were just farming currency for the FIFA games. Because from what I've heard, it's so difficult to get the team that you want or the players that you want with FIFA Ultimate Team that it's actually cheaper for players to buy black market PlayStation 4s that have been farming at like a grand a pop than it is to just play the game and buy the packs as intended. It blew my mind when I heard about this thing. I got mine after a week of trying, but a buddy has been trying about 8 months and just got one. See, yeah. And like I said, I don't feel the compulsion to have it right now. So I probably won't be getting mine anytime really soon. It'll probably just be out of sheer luck. I'll be, now that things are opening up in Ontario again, proper, if I do like a regular shopping run at like Walmart or Best Buy or something, and I happen to see that there's one in stock, that's likely how I'll end up getting it. I have FF7 Remake installed. New Spider-Man is amazing. I've heard, yeah. Miles Morales, yeah. Both are great, though. I played FF7R on the PlayStation 4, and yes, I absolutely loved it. Don't have access to Integrate, though, because that's PS5 exclusive. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to buy the game again on PS5 so that I can buy the DLC. I don't think the DLC is standalone. Like, it's DLC, it's not a standalone episode, so that's gonna suck. But, and yeah, Miles Morales I've heard is fantastic. I've been on the fence about whether or not I should just bite the bullet and just play the PS4 version instead of waiting for my PS5, but, You're playing AC4, We'll see. Like I said, if there's people here chatting with me while I play these games, the Assassin's Creeds, then yeah, I'll keep going. Technically, the entire series was requested, so if I can justify it, like from past 3, I actually have to buy them. These ones haven't been too bad because I already owned them. I just hadn't played them. 4 and onward, I actually have to buy, and it's like $30 a pop. And there's like 18 dozen different titles too, so that doesn't help. So, possibly, we'll see. Probably, I should say, but I don't want to guarantee it. Yakuza is a long series, so I'm not looking to start at the beginning yet. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm intimidated by it too, so I get that. But Like a Dragon is supposed to be its own thing and a good jumping on point. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Yakuza 0 is great. I've been playing it off and on. They're all supposed to be really good. There's a couple that are compared to the others, I've heard. I don't know which ones, because I haven't played any of them. I haven't been following it, but the whole franchise is supposed to be fantastic. There's one... It doesn't have Yakuza in the name. Judgment? I think it's called? Is that a spin-off of Yakuza, or is that just inspired by it? Because I know it's supposed to be similar in gameplay. I barely tried and got one because I'm amazing. Skip, you know what? Show off. I may go back on the Yakuza stuff from 0 eventually. 0 was 0, though, right? Like, 0 wasn't the first one to come out. That was a prequel that was released much later, correct? No, FS7R free upgrades to PS5 version, then you can buy the Yuffie DLC. Oh, okay. That makes me happier. I forgot that game companies are doing that now. Upgrading from current gen to next gen, or if you prefer, previous gen to current gen, was never a thing in the past, so I forgot that that is now. If you have FF7 Remake, you get the PS5 upgrade for free and pay $20 for Intergrade. $20 isn't too bad. Told you how fucking Alright, Skip, fine. Like I said, chances are I'll probably end up playing it, because you weren't the only one that said something. I think the version also commented on it, if I was asking if I was going to be playing it, and I think someone else as well. It might have been Wendigo or Siren, I don't recall. It is a spin-off, so it is related. It is part of the same universe, okay. I have it, but not finished it. Apparently that's fantastic, too. Probably 25 or 30 for Panda and his Canadian currency. For which? Oh, for Intergrade? Yeah. If it's 20 for you, it's probably about 30 for me. Which, I mean, isn't terrible. I've heard it's fantastic. I don't know its length, but... I mean, I paid... What was it? 40 plus tax, so close to $50 for Mega Man 11, which is like a 2-hour game, and I felt like my money was justified, so I'm pretty sure I will
That's what she said!
Oh, no. I'm pretty sure I will love Intergrade. But we'll see when we get there. I've heard it's fantastic. I don't know its length. Why? Just why? Alright. That was a good one. Am I hay? Yes, I'm hay falling. Okay. So, Rawtune, I don't think I've asked you. We were discussing earlier about favorite games and reasons for favorite games, so I'm curious to know what... I know you haven't played a lot of games, at least recently, because of your kids, but what is your favorite game of all time? Like, what's the one that you love to go to whenever the opportunity arises? Am I climbing? I am totally climbing. Oh, I'm getting shot. Alright. How do you deal with that? Like, oh, there you are. Oh. No, stop.
Another 300 action yesterday. Get it! Hurry!
Oh, right in the throat hole.
Regardless of the fingers he uses, no one dares watch.
I'm glad my block worked.
Wow, he got a shot there.
Okay. Let's see how you like it.
Die! Die! I see him!
No! Just drop it.
I'll have your head! Come, let me disembowel you!
Apparently I can't do anything, so I guess we're gonna climb up and kill him. There. Stabbed you in the top of the head. No, no, no, no, no. Alright, let's try this again. Actually we will in a second. Hold on, let me catch up. Hard to say. I've actually played quite a few lately as I've been playing more when they sleep. Because your kids are actually sleeping in more longer intervals, right? Almost like normal humans. I loved Miles Morales and got the platinum, so it was worth the New Game Plus run, though, through. Oh, nice. It's not even that I want to see AC4 that bad, although I do. I just think you'll actually enjoy it. See, it's weird, because I've heard a lot of, like, Assassin's Creed, like, hardcore fans. I don't remember what Siren said or Wendigo, and I don't actually know your opinion compared to all the other games. But the ones that, like, I know personally didn't like 4 because it focused on... They didn't want it to just be a pirate game. They wanted it to be something else, I guess. I don't know. Too much naval battles or something? I don't remember what the critiques were about it, but they didn't like it. I don't know. I mean, I guess I won't know until I try it, but it didn't appeal to me. Most of this franchise that has appealed to me has been the Desmond stuff, which I know ends after this, after 3. So I guess we'll see if 4 is able to pick up that slack or not. Favorite game is hard, though. I played on PS1 FF9 so many years ago and loved it, but never finished it, so plan to someday on Switch or PS4, because I have it on both. Oh, nice! I believe they're remasters. I think the new, the digital versions that have been released on those platforms, I think they're remastered versions, so it should look even better. Yeah, FF7 and FF9 are the two that constantly are at odds for me. I love both games to death. 7 usually comes out on top, but I absolutely love 9. So I can see that. I used to really love Rainbow Six in the early days of Xbox, like Rainbow Six 3. Yeah, it was really... From what I understand, the Tom Clancy games have been less Tom Clancy and more loot boxes with every iteration, but from what I've heard, they're actually really fantastic games, especially the earlier ones with the campaigns. Apparently the stories were based off the books, like, close enough to be, like, really good. Another franchise I haven't actually played myself, though, so I don't know. Speculation. I wish normal. They sleep in a crib about 2 to 3 hours and then wake up and sleep with us, or I take one to the couch for the rest of the night. I'm sorry, that's adorable. I'm sure that doesn't do much for your sleeping schedule, but I can appreciate the, I don't even know what the word is for it, but the quality time that you guys are able to spend together. Didn't that come out around the same time as Sea of Thieves? That could be why. I have no idea. I don't think so. Assassin's Creed 4 came out, I believe it was the first Assassin's Creed out on the PS4? Or it was maybe a later, one of the last PS3 titles. Whereas Sea of Thieves, I think, is relatively much more recent than that. But it's an Xbox platform title, and I have never played it, so I could just be horribly, horribly wrong. The RHD versions will look better for the most part. Okay. I know I picked up 8, and they specifically marketed 8 as a remastered version of that game, so I assume with, like, I mean, 7 and 9 have been re-released a couple of different times now, so I assume they have been remastered as well. I have 7 too, but not played it yet. If you ever do get the 7 sometime, Rodtoon, I would suggest going back to Remake after you've beaten the original 7 and play the remake again. There will be a lot of references and Easter eggs and tidbits here and there that you weren't even aware were references to the original because you hadn't played it. And it'll be like cool little, like, oh, that was a thing, and, you know, stuff like that. Didn't really like the ship stuff in AC3. It was 3 that it was terrible. So 4 is what cleaned it up. Okay, I ended up loving it in 4. AC4 was probably my favorite time playing Creed, even though Odyssey, Origins, and Valhalla are way better games. But they're not way better Assassin's games. That's the thing. Like, apparently it revamped the series, gave it a nice fresh coat. Not a fresh coat of paint. It revamped it into something else. But they're like 3D action games now, right? It's good to know about FF7 and Remake. Yeah, that's what I would suggest personally. I know it's difficult for you being on a time constraint and having titles you probably want to tackle, but if you ever do get the chance, I don't know about Intergrade, though, since I haven't played it yet. I imagine that the same sort of care was taken for that as well. There we go. Not that way. Okay. Off to the window. Okay. You know what I would love to see? It's never going to happen because it doesn't have the same kind of love that 7 does. I would love to see them do a remake for FF9. That would just be fantastic, in my opinion. Like, the game on its own merit was really, really, really, really good. And I just think that if it got, like, the same updated, like, all the care that was put into FF7R, if that also went into FF9, even half of what went into FF7 went into FF9R, that would be amazing to me. Gotta run back to Ratchet. Catch you guys again soon, hopefully. Alright, Rodtoon. Well, thanks for chatting with us. Enjoy Ratchet and Clank, and hopefully we'll catch you again soon. Yeah, I've been really chatty here. I'm sorry, guys. I should probably try stabbing this guy. Well, that's just rude. I guess I'm going for that. Oh, yeah, okay, there we go.
What does it take to kill you, eh? Why will you not die?
Don't you ever stop howling.
Ow.
Well, the old hound still has a bite.
The book you carry, where is it?
Niccolo Polo's journal. This will do you no good. Not now.
We have found one of the Masyaf keys already, and are closing in on the rest.
What is in that library is not for you, not for the Templars.
You can have Altair's books, Ezio. We only want guidance. We only want directions. To the location of the Grand Temple.
Grand Temple? Tell me more, now! Requiescat in pace, bastardo.
I never understood why this guy just divulges his plan. Or not his plan, but the Templar plan. Like, why would he tell them what they're doing? Ezio clearly has no idea what's going on. I got a Uplay action. Cool!
This apple. It is a remarkable piece of work. Feel the material, hard as steel, but very light.
You really want to be fooling with that thing?
I do. I absolutely do. I have been waiting a long time to get my hands on one of these.
Okay, you're making me nervous, Bill.
Don't be. I don't think I have the right genes to properly wield it.
Oh, but Desmond, you think he does?
That would be correct. Desmond is a weapon, nothing more.
What the hell just happened?
You were snooping. Wandering outside the Desmond partition. So once the Animus located you, it pulled you back here. It's just following orders. Like a fail-safe program. Trying to keep your poor head intact, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing here exactly?
Playing. Learning. Waiting. A lot of waiting. I keep the Animus distracted as best I can. For you, so you can explore. Otherwise it might hunt you down like a little virus and, delete you.
Well, my guardian angel.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, Thanks.
I can't tell if 16 is a douche or if he's just justifiably cynical because of everything that he's gone through.
What's happening?
Are you at the airport?
Yeah, we're chartering a jet. Are you coming?
Yes, yeah. I'll be there soon.
Good.
They buried her already.
I heard.
A little cemetery outside Rome. Nice place.
God, things got so fucked up so fast.
Is Desmond still out?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of brain activity, but the monitoring system shut down. We can't record anything.
Well, keep me posted, okay? I'll see you soon.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I ruined everything. Okay. I'm gonna pause real quick. I have run out of water. So I'm gonna go and restock on that. If any of the mods are still in, would you be so kind as to run a raffle? And I will be right back. Skip, stop rigging it. Congratulations. We need more parties. There you go. There we go. What are you up to now, anyway? Oh, it doesn't tell you. It just says that you won 1,000. I'm curious now. You're almost at 10,000. That's respectable. Alright, let's jump into the giant portal thingy.
Dear sister, Masyaf is overrun by a battery of Templars, and their motive is clear. They desire the secrets locked away in Altair's library. Secrets they believe will lead them to something called the Grand Temple. Whether or not this is true, I do know the library is real. I have seen its door for myself. But none can enter. Not without 5 keys which were sent to Constantinople with Niccolo Polo almost 300 years ago. Claudia, I must find these keys. The Templars have already located one, and I do not know how difficult it will be to find the others. Only time, skill, and a bit of luck will tell.
Alright, I think this is around where I had stopped last time. The Golden Horn. Constantinople. 1511. Oh god, I don't remember the years in Assassin's Creed 2. Alright, well this plays out, I need to look that up. One sec.
A magnificent sight.
It is a work in progress.
No city in Europa has a skyline quite like this.
Well, to be precise, that is Europa. That is Asia.
Ah. Some borders even the Ottomans cannot move.
Very few. You are Italian by the sound of it, but your outfit is not. Have you been traveling long?
Si, a molto tempo. I left Rome 12 months ago, looking for inspiration. And that search brought me here. When I was a child, my father told me stories about the fall of Constantinople.
You must mean the conquest of Constantinople. I suppose the moral of any story matches the temper of the man telling it.
That we can agree on.
Güzel. Constantinople is a city for all kinds and creeds. Students like me or travelers such as yourself.
He does not believe that we're a traveler. He does not. He knows who we are. He's probably a secret Templar. Present day Instable.
I have so much work to return to. But it is good to be home.
Maybe not present day.
When I was your age, my interests were mainly salve.
Incredible. I am surprised you got anything done.
As was my mother.
It was a pleasure speaking with you, Beyefendi. I hope you find something to hold your interest here.
I have faith I will.
So Ezio was born
Grazie, dear boy.
1459.
A scholar and a gentleman. You are full of surprises.
Very few, my friend. Exceed all mine.
Hoş geldin kardeşim. Unless the legend is a lie, you are the man I long to meet. Renowned master and mentor. Ezio Auditori de la la la. Prego. Forgive me. I have a hard time remembering that Italian gibberish.
Da Firenze, the city where I was born.
Ah, yes. So, by your custom, I would be Yusuf Tazim da Istanbul.
Oh.
I like that.
Istanbul. Yet another name for the city.
Evet. It's a local favorite. Come, Mentor da Firenze. I will show you around.
Alright, so unless my math is wrong, that puts Ezio at around 62 years old? 1511, right? 1509 would put him at... No, 1509 would put... He's 52 years old, sorry. I can math, I swear. KLBRB, gotta cut the power to house for a sec. Oh, a question will be asked about that when you get back. Okay. You can interact with shots. Okay, let's talk. A warm welcome. Master Assassin Yusuf Tazim has welcomed you to Constantinople. I think I mispronounced that. And would like to give you a tour. Get to know him and the city. Do not wander far from Yusuf. That's how you fully think. Alright. Don't leave his side. Gotcha.
Welcome to Galata district. For centuries, it has been a home to orphans from Europa and Asia alike. You won't find more diversity anywhere else in the city. And for that reason, assassins make it their home.
I would like to see where.
Kesinlikle. The Brotherhood is always eager to meet the man who put the Borgias out to pasture.
Oh. Does everyone in this city know I'm here already?
Well, your Holy Land tussle with the Templar did not go unnoticed.
When I first set out, violence was so far from my mind. I sought wisdom. The contents of Altair's library.
Not realizing it has been sealed for 3 centuries?
No, I assumed as much. But I never expected to find Templars guarding it.
Very troubling, no? 5 years ago, Templar influence here was minimal. A small faction with dreams of restoring the Byzantine throne. But they're growing in number, day by day. And the Sultan Bayezid on his way out. They may try something dramatic.
Is there no heir to the Ottoman throne?
Not just one. 2 angry sons. It's a familiar pattern with these royals. When the Sultan calls, the princes draw their swords.
This is going to be a very colorful character, I can already tell. Da Vinci will be mad that you can't Oh. I'm sorry, Da Vinci. I tried my best.
Between the Templars and the Ottomans, you must stay busy.
Ezio, I barely have time to polish my blade.
Yep, apparently that is correct.
Must remember that.
Oh, we kicked him in the groin!
More Templars! Look sharp! No. Watch.
Byzantium is dead, as are you.
The whole city wakens to welcome you, Ezio. First the regents, now the rats. Ottoman soldiers have a special loathing for these Byzantine thugs. That gives us some breathing room.
How much?
Just a little. They'll still kill you if you look at them wrong. But they will feel bad about it later.
Touching.
It's not so bad, really. For the first time in many decades, the assassins have a strong presence here.
Oh, thank
God. It
God.
wasn't always that way. Under the Byzantine Emperor, the assassins were hunted down and killed on the spot.
That means we don't have to rebuild everything from scratch again. Stop trying to get me to pickpocket people, game. I will not do it.
We're almost there.
Alright, where are we going? Okay, seriously,
This
where are
way.
we going? Enter the Assassin's HQ. Okay. Alright, let's go in, say hi to our new friends, I guess.
Mentor, say hello to your extended family.
Salute a voi, assassini. It is an honor to find such fast friends so far from home.
You see, brothers? Our mentor is not afraid to weep openly in front of pupils.
Do not worry. I will not make a habit out of it.
Ezio and I were ambushed on the way here. I'd like some of you to do a sweep of the area. Hey, man! And you, Ezio. Your weapons and armor are in a pitiful state. Maybe find some money and repair what you can. There is a blacksmith nearby. He's a friend.
Buona idea.
Upgrade and explore. Ezio's equipment is not in good condition. Explore Galata district and upgrade his equipment. Why can't I decline this? That is weird. Exit Assassin HQ. Okay, bye. City events. Systemic events might occur as you walk around the city. Citizens in need of help may reward you for your assistance. Oh. This is how we're gonna farm for money, basically. Earn enough money to buy new armor. What do we have going on over here? Oh, that's our... Okay. Let's see what we need. Yes.
Come again. The big sale. Come and see.
Apparently I earned enough already. Okay.
Prices than these, friends. Just look at my wares and see if you're...
Armor upgrades provide bonuses to your maximum health. Armor receives damage each time you are hit. Repair your armor, blast up. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's go back to the exclamation point.
Praise the heavens! We feared we had lost our mentor to the vices of the big city.
I am content with my own vices, grazie.
So, what's on your mind, Ezio?
Tell me more about the Templars. You call them Byzantines. Yet the Byzantine Empire was overthrown 60 years ago.
These men are remnants of a line loyal to the cause of the last emperor, Constantine XI. Who leads them now, however? I cannot say.
Capisco. I suppose it is up to me to find out.
Ezio, where is your hook blade?
My hook blade?
You've never seen one? I grew up using these.
New toys!
Show me how it works.
That was weird. The hook blade. Follow Yusuf to learn how to use your new hook blade. Perform every hook blade move successfully at least once. Well, I don't think we can advance the story unless we do it at least once. Alright. Extended reach maneuver.
That's what she said.
What did I say? Sometimes I just ramble, so I don't
Blade as an extension of yourself, Ezio.
always know what I say. Oh, I see. I am totally gonna forget this is a thing. Because you have to try to use it. It's not just automatic. Yeah, okay, he automatically used it there. Failure! Alright, I don't think I'm gonna get full sync.
You think I cannot make this one? Didn't break a sweat.
That was not a soft landing. I don't know where he is. Not down here, apparently. Oh, that's cool. Oh, there you are. Dang it, game!
Must hurry. Watch and learn, Ezio. We call this a hook and run. Sprint at your opponent, and just as you reach him, use the hook blade to slip by.
I like how he's teaching us how to do this.
Harika!
Oh, well, there we go. Oh, we're doing it again. Okay. Oh, I see. So if someone's standing in the way, instead of sitting there trying to kill him, you just... Alley-oop?
The standard Ottoman hook blade has two parts, you see. The hook and the blade. So you can use one or the other. An elegant design. How about the bigger challenge? Hmm?
Va bene, let's go.
The view from Colada. Welcome back, Skip. So, power to your house? Am I allowed to ask what that was about? Yes. It was just a... I just don't know what to make. Maybe I'm more tired than I thought, but it just didn't seem... Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. I'm just tired, don't mind me. Ezio is now the proud owner of an Ottoman hook blade and needs a bit of training to master it. Training Yusuf is more than happy to provide. Climb the tower in under 60 seconds. Oh, that's gonna fail horribly. Prong from a plug broke off in the outlet and had to remove it. Oh. Okay, fair enough. Sounds lovely. That's actually not a predicament I've ever been in, so...
Necessary? Having fun?
Oh, God! Yes, I did hurt myself.
That's right. Let the hook blade do the work.
Ezio had a boo-boo. No, stream elements. Alright, let's try that with a little less failure, shall we?
If only Antonia could see this.
Having fun? That's right. Let the hook blade do the work. İşte böyle. Throw yourself into it.
That was really awkward. Was that under a minute? I can't tell.
Ezio, the crossroads of the world. Many generations of men have ruled the city, but they have never subdued her. She always bounces back.
It seems a fine place to call home.
It is. Race you to the bottom?
That's what she said!
Wait, if she has to ask because she couldn't tell. Oh, I gotta synchronize. Why is it L3 now? Perform a leap of faith. Only 22 in this area, I'm guessing. Yay, we didn't die horribly.
I am impressed, Yusuf. My brothers in Roma would like this.
Just give credit where it is due.
Yusuf, çabuk buraya gel.
Huh?
An attack on two fronts, Galata and the Grand Bazaar.
Every day, the same bad news. How is your appetite for swordplay?
I do what I must.
Good man.
Advanced tactics. Word has reached Yusuf that the Templars are attacking two separate assassin dens. Follow Yusuf while he conceives a plan. A zipline assassination. Alright.
A bit old to be leading about, no?
Hey now! It's not very nice. Oh.
When he tires of running, an assassin must take to the air. Watch.
Yeah, that's right. Should have known.
A Templar scout.
Oh, here we go.
And another there. Watch this.
Ow.
Assassin! Help!
Pile up on
He's enjoying this way too much.
Time to part company. I'll head to the bazaar. You stay here. Do you see that tower?
See, the Galata Den.
Evet. I can't be in two places at once, but with you here, I don't have to be. Haydi rastgele.
Alright, I guess we go forward. Really? Oh.
Bunebiuk, Sheriff Usta. Is Yusuf with you?
An attack in this city demands his attention. What is our situation?
We beat back the vanguard, but they are sure to send more troops.
Are your men ready for another fight?
They are now.
That's a cool mask, actually. On the defense, the Templars are preparing to attack the Galata Assassin's Den. Lead your fellow assassins in its defense. Den defense. Templars have launched an attack on one of your dens. The den and its surrounding area are now contested. Go to your den to defend it and repel the attackers. So this is basically Fallout 4. Before Fallout 4 was a thing. What is this? Am I doing the tower defense game from FF7, basically? Place a leader by moving your cursor into the locked rooftop. Oh.
Defend that area.
I don't know if I have the mental capacity to understand what's going on right now. R2 to bring it. Oh. Okay. Place 2 crossbowmen by moving your cursor to a rooftop with the leader and. Okay, 1.
Hold there.
Sure.
Secure that point. Make your stand there. I need you to hold that point.
Barricades. Right there. And sure, right there too, why not? One more. Oh, there we go. Is there a reason why you're not shooting anymore?
Hold that point for me.
I'm not gonna do the rooftop. Press L2 to bring up the unit reel, then select the later. Send it to a rooftop with a red highlight to unlock the rooftop. I can't. Oh! Oh! We can move the cursor itself! Dang! Alright, well.
Make your stand there.
Rifleman.
I need you to hold that point. Make your stand there. Hold that point for me. Make your stand there.
This is so weird.
Hold there.
Move the cursor over the Templar group and press L2 to fire a cannon shot, or hold and release L2 for cannon salvo at that location. More Templars are on their way to halt their advance. Place riflemen on the rooftops and barricades in the side. What do you think I'm doing? Alright, there.
I need you to hold that point. Hold that point for me. Make your stand there.
Might as well. Oh, you can upgrade! Fuck that FS7 tower defense game! Oh. Right.
Fire attack!
I forgot I can do that. 76% sync. Morale remaining. I didn't realize that that was going to count towards anything. Five lamb's blood and tripwires. Awesome. Air assassins. I literally don't know what that was. Alright, I think we are going to save and call it a night once we're done with whatever story bit hits next. How am I a coward?
Send word if the Templars regroup. I will be with Yusuf at the Grand Bazaar Den.
Take a ferry across the Halij. It's the fastest way to the peninsula.
I don't know. Watch Dragon Ball Super. Why? Hey, money. Woohoo. Alright, yeah, I think we're gonna call it here. I'm getting tired, and after that, I realize I'm mentally done, so... Because it's fun. Alright, fair enough. It's one of those things where it's on my list of things that I want to do. I just have no idea when or if I'm going to get around to it. You know what I mean? I mean, I kind of know how it goes down anyways. Like, I know the story. I know how it... The only real thing I'm not sure of is how the whole Tournament of the Universes kicks off. Like, what gets it going. But other than that, like, I know how it ends. I know the main plot points of everything, so... I don't know. Someday. Someday I'll get around to it. Yeah, alright, we're not gonna raid, because it's been a quiet night. And this is what I'm talking about, Skip. Assassin's Creed does not bring in even the people that enjoy this, so... I can't guarantee I'll be playing past 3. Watch it! Cookies, thank you. Petito. 1,000. There you go. Alright, well, thank you guys for being here. Petito, Skip, Armageddon, if you're still here, I appreciate you chatting. Keeping this a little more lively for me. We are going to stick with this game this time. We're not going to change to something else. So, hopefully we don't have to do too many of those weird tower defense things, but I got a feeling that I'm going to do a lot more than I think. Tomorrow night I am taking off. So no Friday night casual stream for this week. But I will be back on Sunday with some more revelations. So yeah, have a wonderful evening, guys.